All right, so hey, trackies, this one is impromptu. So, yes, I had to hop on live immediately because this one is fresh and hot, as they say, hot off the press. So, I have to shout out to my loyal trackie that, sent me this info. So, definitely have to, jump into this right now. So, it's understood that Elaine Thompson here as camp had declined the opportunity for her to run other legs of the 4x1 at the World Championships in the finals. No, she insisted that she was only prepared to run the second leg, which is known as the back stretch. So, yes, again, Elaine Thompson here declined the opportunity to run any other legs. So other than the backstretch, because we all know that, Shelly was slated for the backstretch based on, everything that we were talking about before. Shelly would be perfect for the backstretch. And it seems the team also determined that Shelly would be perfect for the backstretch as well. So they're like, okay, Elaine, we see you. We see that you're running well. Would you want to run on any other leg? We know that Sherika was going to be an anchor. So the only two legs that were left were first leg and, third leg. So in my opinion, third leg is where they would potentially want Elaine to go, and she declined the opportunity to be on any other leg because she was only prepared to go on the back stretch. No, it is further understood that her camp cited concerns about aggravating her previous injury, which is why she was only prepared to run again on the back stretch. And of course, the third leg would not be considered because that is a curve. So again, because of her previous injury and them, having concerns about potentially aggravating it, her running on a curve was out of the question. So it was either going to be, again, the back stretch or the anchor. We know why Sherika is on the anchor, and we know why Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce is on the back stretch. She also has an injury herself, which also got aggravated, unfortunately, in the finals. So they had concerns as it relates to that, and they're like, all right, here what? She's just not going to run or not participate because that curve is not it, right? So potentially her injury would be aggravated, and as such they declined to have her participate in the 4x100 meter final. So track is as it stands now, based on Elaine Thompson Hira's performance in the heat, she was indeed offered a slot on the team in the finals. The issue now, starts with the fact that Elaine is carrying an injury and so is Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce. And it's like, all right, the only legs for you would be a curve, and she couldn't handle the curve. So understandably so, she is not, she and her team decided to not take part in the finals. So track is, we now feel crucified. We now feel crucified Maurice Wilson out here. Hey Damari, too much switchy. She did the right thing, right? So because of her injury, so you're new here, Ali by nature, you're just joining the live. So news just coming in is that Elaine Thompson here was actually offered a spot on the final, or a spot in the relay structure on the final, but unfortunately she declined because the spot available, in my opinion, would have been a curve, either the third or the first, and based on what her team is saying, that could have potentially aggravated her injury, and as such, they declined to have her participate in the finals. So we don't have to be chopping off certain man's head. Yeah, don't have to be, chopping off certain man's head, based on the situation at hand right now. Chakis, I know some of y'all are gonna talk about, potentially moving Sharika, but as I said, moving Sharika right now would also potentially cause issues until Sharika learns herself how to deliver a baton, safely. And until then, they're just gonna, have her on the ankle. So going forward, though, I hope that they work that out so that in light of such issues, because remember I said it on live, I said, what if you have multiple athletes that can't, run a particular leg? What are you going to do? And here we have three of our best athletes, and two of them are injured, and one of them have a baton issue. Two injured and one have one button issue. What was Team Jamaica supposed to do? You understand? There are only two straights. So Shelly takes one, and Sharika takes one, and unfortunately, Elaine just had to sit this one out. And I believe her team, made the right decision not having her partake in the final, because again, we saw what happened to Shelly, and you've been seeing my mood. I'm not in the best of moods, you know. And I definitely wouldn't have wanted that to happen to Elaine as well. She's just coming back, so we're not trying to have any injuries here. So you know what I mean. I think it was the best decision to make for her, clearly, moving forward, and that's all she wrote. So Team JA, Jackie, now you know that there wasn't something malicious going on like we all thought, including myself. I'm not gonna lie, excluding Elaine Thompson here out of the 4x1 final. She was offered a spot to be on the team, but she declined because they did not want to aggravate the injury, because potentially she would be on a curve, and she was only prepared to run on a straight, and straight in this case clearly was the backstretch. So yeah. So that's it, Chuckies. That is it with Elaine. Yeah, she did the right thing, right, taking care of health first, which is why I even said in my video talking about this whole relay thing, I can't be happy. I know some people are happy for the silver, and that's fine if you all want to be happy, but I literally can't be happy. Every time I replay that section of Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce hopping, it happened multiple times, and you could see her switch her face from one screw to a different screw, and it was painful to watch. So I definitely 100% didn't want to see Elaine also go through the same thing. So it was the right call for her team to say, okay, we're not going to take part in the finals, and it is what it is. But at least we get the word out that at least she was, offered, because that was the biggest problem here. We're thinking that something shady, was going on, why she wasn't offered a spot on the team, but she was offered. So at least that's a good sign. She was offered, but she declined. Um, me think a high time Sherika learn for pass button. She's going to have to learn, because especially because of this issue. We have three potential top athletes that could have run together, and they couldn't perform together because the three of them have three different issues. Two of them is injuries, one with the knee, one with the Achilles, and the other one is a button issue. The button issue is something that should be fixed. That shouldn't be an issue. I've talked about this multiple times on live, on videos, that going forward, exchanging a button, receiving a button should be a non-issue. It should be a non-issue, because depending on the team that you have, put together, you're gonna have to move the girls around. You're gonna have to move things around and be like, all right, since this is going for you, we put you there. So then, and you know what I mean. Things like that would have to happen, but in this case, it can't happen because of the button issue. So that needs to be a non-issue going forward. But I'm at least glad that Elaine was offered a spot, on the team. And, she declined because, again, they didn't want to aggravate the injury. She was only prepared to run on the back stretch. So, yeah. I'm also not understanding how Sharika can. Look here, this for me is a non-issue going forward. It should be a non-issue going forward. I hope the powers that be, anybody who is listening, as a professional athlete, look at the American team. These girls are able to slot in wherever, wherever. You understand what I'm saying? Because you never know who is going to be available. You don't know. Say for instance, you take the top four from trials. By the time the World Championships comes around, you don't know who are got in a what shape and condition, Let's say by the time you reach World Championships and injury happen, what are you going to do? You start draw for the people them running the 200, you start draw for two hurdler, but yeah, you're gonna have to figure out where to place them. And as such, these are skills that these athletes need to master before getting into any pool or conversation about running on a relay. As far as I'm concerned, that needs to be it. Going forward, everybody needs to learn how to use one, pass one button, receive one button. Everybody, I don't care, you're a hurdler, learn how to do it. You never know when Team JA is going to call upon you and say, hey, let's use the 4x4 for an example. We saw America having an issue there where their hero, or the heroine, sorry, in the first round in the mixed 4x4 became, a terrible situation in the in the women's 4x4. Why? Because she ran out of the zone. So you need to know when. Do you need to have all of these skills ready? She's a hurdler, I believe. Right, you need to have all of these skills ready. It doesn't matter which event is your event. 100-meter hurdles, 400-meter hurdles, all 800 meters. You need to have these skills so that in the event your country calls on you and say, listen, Our team isn't teaming. We need you. We need you right now. At least you know what to do. You know what I mean? But with that said, though, I'm happy knowing that she was, invited to be a part of the team. As I said to you before, Chuck, is I don't want to make this video too long because I will be back at 1 o'clock. I'll be back at 1 o'clock, so I'll see you all then. Oh, Brain Drain, thank you so very much for the $2 super chat. The Great Shakiri is just getting started. Scary, yeah, she's definitely scary. I did a vision, not a vision, sorry. I did a video talking about her being Jamaica's worst nightmare. I don't know if you all watched it, but yeah, she's just getting started. She's very young. 23. I'm excited to see what she has to bring. But yeah, Trackies, I hope you all hit like on the video as well. But yeah, that's the latest. So Elaine was indeed offered a spot on the team and she declined because they did not want to aggravate the injury, which to me is the best, choice, or was the best choice, especially considering what we saw with Shelly and Fraser Price, and she was on the straight. Dear God, you know what I mean? So yeah, that's all she wrote. I'll catch you guys in at 1 o'clock. I'll be back at 1 o'clock for the rest of today. Today's the final day for the World Championship, so I'll catch you guys at 1. Thank you for joining this impromptu live. I'll catch you guys at 1. All right, later.